Hello, it's Mrs. Green, and this lesson is half of a lesson on percents as decimals. We'll do the other half, percents as fractions, in the next lesson. So percents as decimals. First, of course, as always, please write down your prior knowledge, everything you know about converting a percent to a decimal. Here are the key pieces of information. So I first want you to define the word percent. So here's the nice definition that I've typed. The word percent means per 100. That means out of 100. When they have a per in there, it's usually a fraction. Over 100 is another way to say it. It's a ratio. So that means we're going to have a numerator and a denominator, whose denominator is 100. So the denominator is 100. The symbol, our little friend here, is shown. I've just circled it. So it's a slash with kind of two O's. I'm sure you're familiar with that. All right, here is the second piece of key information. To write a percent as a decimal, you can divide by 100, because if you have a number x percent, so some number x percent, that is the same as saying x, the part that's in front of the percent symbol, divided by 100, or over 100, per 100. Those all mean the same thing. It means you put the x on top and a fraction bar and then a 100 in the denominator. That's what the definition says right here, 100 in the denominator. The other way to say that is x divided by 100. So three different ways to express what a percent means. And then if we actually do this division, it will change into a decimal. And you can also, there's a shortcut. If you recall that dividing by 100 is the same as moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. So 2 places to the left. So that's the shortcut. If you take the percent symbol off, remove it, and you take that x, you can simply change it by moving 2 decimal places to the left. So we'll see that in our example problems on the next page. So example 1. Example 1 is 65%. We want to write that as a decimal. So if we write 65% as a decimal, we can do it several things. We can write 65 over 100, because that's the definition of percent, out of 100 or per 100. That's the same as saying 65 divided by 100. Or if we take the shortcut method, we are going to use the x in front of the percent sign, which in this case is 65, and we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. It starts out at the back. It starts out where the percent symbol was. We're going to move it 2 places to the left, and that's going to result in 0.65. 0.65. Example problem 2, 250%. So I'm going to expect my decimal to be more than 1, because I know 100% is 1. So 250%, I'm expecting a decimal that's more than 1. So that's the same as saying 250 over 1. You don't have to do, when you're doing your work, you don't have to do every single one of these different methods, these different forms that I'm writing, but in your sample problems, you should write them all down so that you have a really good set of notes with every single way that you can write percent. So 250%, the same as 250 over 100, the same as 250 divided by 100, which is the same as or equal to 250 moving the decimal 2 places to the left, which is 2.5. Now remember, I was expecting more than 1, so that is a reasonable answer, 2.5. Example problem 3. 0.3%. So again, we're going to take the x, which is the number in front of the percent symbol, with the decimal and everything, put it over 100. That's one way to write it. We're still trying to convert to a decimal. So we can do 0.3 divided by 100. Or we can move the decimal 2 places, 0.3, move it 2 places. There's our new place, so I need 2 placeholder zeros. So if I write that in a nicer fashion, 0.003. Fourth example problem is a negative 125%. So that's more than 100%, so I'm expecting more than a 1. It's a negative, so we have to carry that negative 125 per 100, or negative 125 divided by 100, so I'm going to end up with a negative because I've got a negative divided by a positive. I know the result will be negative. Or I can move my decimal place, negative 125, move the decimal 2 places to the left, ends up between the 1 and the 2, so I have negative 1.25. That's my decimal equivalent. Okay, so practice. 4 practice problems. Please write these as decimals. 80%, negative 7.5%, 1.05%, and negative 0.4%. That's it. And then you want to do your wrap-up summary.